All right, folks, Samori Benjamin here with Miami Marlin. Nick Gordon, former #1 draft pick, actually 10 years ago. Nick, man, thanks for joining me and nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. All right, so now I know you grew up in Florida, and I know your father is Tom Flash Gordon, who I grew up a fan of. How was it like for you to come up? Your older brother, played in the game too. So how was it for you just coming up, learning the game of baseball?
Man, I feel like it was a part of my life. My dad, he kind of paved the way for us, and he never really forced us into anything. He just kind of, he led by example. He did things the right way, and we all wanted to follow in his footsteps.
You grew up in Florida. I mean, I know Florida is a big football state and all that. So, were you someone that got into football at all?
Oh yeah, I loved football. I did. I broke my ankle my freshman year, so I had to put it down.
So you stopped playing after your freshman year?
I did.
Okay. So did you have any favorite football teams growing up in Orlando, right?
Yeah, in Orlando. Like my teams?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, any team I played on, I would say was my favorite. But I mean, my dad always took me to go pretty much watch all the high schools that were around the area, all the good guys that were playing.
How about pro teams?
Ooh, I mean, pro teams, I was always a Bucks fan just because, Tampa Bay is right there, so I was always a Bucks guy. But then I started liking the Redskins once they beat Tampa. Once I was younger, they was in the playoffs, they beat Tampa, and then I kind of was a Redskins fan.
They beat Tampa, that was more like late 90s, right?
Yeah, no, I think it was early 2000s.
Early 2000s, okay.
Yeah, it was early 2000s.
Oh, you were Sean Taylor when Sean Taylor said
yeah, Santana, they had Santana.
Picked the ball up, yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. Were you a basketball fan though?
Yeah, I'm more of a basketball fan now, I would say.
Okay.
I like Steph Curry.
You like Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. So growing up, you didn't play much basketball?
I played, but I mean, I didn't really care too much for it.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Okay, so yeah, man. I mean, just growing up, what was the competition level like in baseball in the Orlando area when you were growing up?
Man, it was really good. It's even some guys here who I played against, who on this big league field now, who I played against high school, played with. Cool. I played with Sean Reed Foley, David Peterson, all of us actually played on the same travel team. DJ Stewart's from our area. I played against Frankie Lindor in high school. He was a senior, I was a freshman. So, me and Pete Alonso, we played together, we were about 10 years old on the juice. So, yeah, it kind of go way back. I played with a lot of these guys.
That's cool. Yeah, you mentioned DJ Stewart. I know he went to Florida State, and you were about to go to Florida State, but you got drafted and decided not to go. So yeah, that's cool, man. Wow, a lot of ball players in the area who you came out with. That's cool, man. Yeah. Your father. Do you remember much about his playing career?
Man, I feel like when I was growing up, that's pretty much all I knew. I was at a baseball field as a kid, pretty much my whole entire life. So, I remember a lot of it. Actually.
Yeah, and actually, one of your coaches, Bill Miller. He was on the Red Sox team that beat your father's Yankees. I'm a Yankee fan. I grew up a Yankee fan, so 2004, I remember that. And so Bill Miller was on the Red Sox when they came back against your dad and the Yankees. Yeah, so do you guys ever talk about that at all?
No, we don't talk about it too much, but I will say Billy's the man. Billy did some great things. My dad did some wonderful things as well. So, to be able to actually share a clubhouse with Billy, grow up around my dad, it's great baseball knowledge all around.
How was it for you to get to be around the major league game and major league players as a young kid?
Oh, it was awesome. Derek Jeter, those guys were my role models, and my dad was on the Yankees, so coming in the clubhouse and seeing Derek Jeter and being able to hang out with him, it was like a dream come true, honestly.
Well, so what was it like to hang around him?
Man, it was awesome. He did everything that people would say. It was, even as a kid, that's a lifelong impression that he left. I never forget. Just being able to have that. A lot of people don't get that access, man. It was awesome. It was an awesome thing, and I feel like it kind of helped me out today. Like today, I see people who got status or more fame, and I ain't really, I don't really get too excited. I think those kind of things just kind of help. Growing up as a kid, being around all those, superstars.
Yeah, so I guess being around the game at a young age really, how do you think that helped you get to where you are now?
Really just kind of, watching my dad, watch how he stayed even keel, watch how he handled pressure, handled, doubts and things like that, and, just kind of learning from all that stuff.
Yeah, so do you have a most memorable moment from your father's playing career on the field that you can think of?
Oh man, so many, honestly. But I would say, although he wasn't playing, the World Series was a very good memory, you know, just for my whole entire family. You know, all of us were there, and I still remember, like, you know, Brad Lidge threw the last pitch, and my brother jumped on my head, and everybody went crazy, and it was just wild. I still remember that.
Yeah, so your brother D, he is older than you by a few years, and so I'm sure he probably inspired you as well, just watching him play.
For sure, for sure. A lot of games, seen a lot of games.
Yeah. I mean, so when he was in the big leagues, before you got drafted, were you able to tag around with him a little bit too?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I was hanging with D. You know what I'm saying? A little big brother type.
All right. So, at what point growing up did you think that you had a real shot of making it here?
Honestly, my whole entire life I thought I could.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
I would have had to not get here to believe that I couldn't get here.
Now, I know Florida State, like I said, they were interested in you, and you were close to going there, but then you got drafted in the first round by Minnesota 10 years ago, 2014. So what was that moment like for you, being able to be drafted in the top 10 in the first round at that time?
Nah, it was awesome. You know, it was just the start of my career. You know, it was special for my family, it was special for me. It just kind of made me hungrier, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you have any favorite players besides your dad coming up?
Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter, no
and
doubt.
Barry Bonds, the greatest ever.
Derek Jeter and Barry Bonds. Okay, so now the minor leagues, I know it's a grind, and you know, not a lot of Afro-American ball players playing right now. And one reason that people give to why a lot of Afro-American kids sometimes don't choose baseball because minor league paths can be a grind and all that. So I mean, I know you spent a few years in the minor league before you got a chance to make your debut. So what was the minor league experience like for you?
I mean, it was exactly that. You know, it was a grind. It was every single day. But I mean, you know, if you love it, you do it. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're getting to play baseball, you know. I always looked at it like it could have been a lot worse. You know, it's so much other things that I could have been doing in life. But the fact that I was there and I was playing, you know, I was happy. I couldn't ask for anything else.
Now, you made your debut in 2021, I believe. So what do you remember about after all those years in the minor leagues, that grind, finally being able to make your debut?
It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, it was everything I dreamed of, and you know, anybody who plays this game, you know, I definitely encourage you all to push for that. Like, it's a special moment.
You remember your first hit?
I think it was a base hit to right field.
You know who it was against?
I think Lyles.
Okay. How about your first home run?
I don't know who it was against. I know it was in Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was there. My mom.
Now you have speed. You got some power. What do you enjoy about playing the game the most?
Honestly, everything that comes with it. Winning. I think that's what I like the most, winning.
Do you have a pitcher who, when you faced for the first time, somebody you grew up watching that you were kind of like, wow, facing this guy, can't believe it?
Oh, I think Verlander.
Verlander.
No. I would say Verlander was like that, but really Kershaw. Because my brother came up with the Dodgers, so I kind of got to like see early Kershaw too, and just to see, you know, all the great stuff he's done, and then to get on the mound or to get in the field and you know, he's on the mound. That was a special moment.
All right, folks. Miami Marlins outfielder Nick Gordon. Nick, thanks so much.
Yes,
I appreciate you.
Of course. Nice to meet you.
You too, man.
Yes.